So this month is all about different types of connections that we can use on our smartphones and smart devices like an iPad or a tablet. And today we are going to discuss digital wallets and how to use a digital wallet and exactly why people use digital wallets and the safety and everything behind that. So we'll see a video shortly as well that's about like 2 minutes, but let's just talk a little bit about the definition of a digital wallet. So a digital wallet is also known as e-wallet. Hold on, I'm just letting more people in and I'm gonna just mute everyone for the time being, but if you always have a question, you could raise your little hand in Zoom, say it in the chat, and I'll also have questions while we are doing the presentation. Okay, so a digital wallet is also known as an e-wallet, or people call it a mobile wallet, and it's basically an electronic service that is on our phone that we use to make transactions with another party using digital currency. So usually when you're outside or even on the bus or going on the train, you may see people using their phone to tap and pay. And also you may see people using their credit card or debit card to tap their phone on the machines as well. And it's kind of symbolized by the icon that we see here on the presentation, which are like the four lines as well. Anytime you see that type of symbol, that means you can use your digital wallet with your phone or use your card to tap and pay. And on the left-hand side of the screen are the type of digital wallets that exist. So the most well-known one and the one that's used the most is Apple Pay. But Apple Pay and Apple Wallet is only, of course, used with iPhone devices. It's just the number one used one because there's more people that have iPhones than Androids, but that's why I said number one. Then if you have an Android or a Google type phone, Pixel phone, Samsung phone, you have the option to choose between Google Pay or the Google Wallet. And if your phone is more a Samsung type phone, so if you have like a Samsung Galaxy phone, anyone here today, you could use Samsung Pay or Samsung Wallet. But all three of these do the same exact thing, which is adding a debit or credit card into your phone to pay with your phone, or you could also put it on an iPad or a tablet. We're mostly gonna go over those type, but PayPal is also another form of a mobile wallet. With PayPal, you can also put your debit cards and credit cards in there. But specifically for today's presentation, we're going to focus more on the digital wallets on our smartphones that come with our smartphones, because today's presentation is not just talking about adding debit cards or credit cards, but you can also add other types of things on this wallet, like a boarding pass, a Broadway ticket, a concert ticket. You can add membership cards and things like that. So it's not just essentially adding a credit card or a debit card. So with a digital wallet, right, how we use it, right? What is a digital wallet? It is a program on our phone that essentially stores credit and debit cards, but it could also store other types of cards as well, which we'll talk about later. And how the technology works is something similar to kind of Bluetooth technology, but instead it's called NFC, which means near field communication. And if you were here last week when we discussed Bluetooth, right, we learned that Bluetooth works through short radio wave signals. And that's kind of the same way a digital wallet operates. It uses short radio waves within your phone to the payment whatever the payment thing that we use when you go into the store and the mall or so on. Both of those objects both have this type of radio wave signal that they make a match where you can do transactions with one another. Digital wallets can also be used to send and receive money. So for example, if anyone here today uses like PayPal or Zelle, those are all forms of digital wallets where you can ask someone to send you money, receive money, also Cash App. We're not going to talk about those specifically because those are specifically only for sending and receiving money, but it is another type of digital wallet. With iPhones, you can exclusively send money through text message if you have Apple Pay and your wallet turned on. Not too sure if you could do that with Google phones, Android phones, if you could send money through a text message. But if you can, and that's something you want to do in the future, you could always get Zelle or Cash App to send money to someone very quickly in a matter of a minute. So why do people use a digital wallet, right? For one, it's a very convenient way to complete a transaction. If you forget your wallet or your keys that have your different types of cards on it, everything is stored in the digital wallet. So, right, we could have stored credit cards on there, gift cards, loyalty cards, membership cards. So when we did this presentation on the center, we even found out that key food, you could put your key food card in the wallet. So for example, if you forget to bring your what day in your purse, it's now on your card. Same thing with like Stop and Shop and so on. All of those type of loyalty cards to a supermarket or to the gym or to some other organization, you can put all of that in your digital wallet. So in case you forget, I'm not too sure.
Excuse me, Tabitha. Does that mean that you take a picture of an actual key food card, or do you take a picture of the fob?
Right. So how it works is that you could just take a picture of the barcode and it'll scan, or you can manually put the numbers of your loyalty card and it will pick it up and add it. And then the next time you go to the supermarket, so like for example, the key food example, all she had to do was take a picture of her barcode of her key food card, and then the barcode became digital on her phone. So now she doesn't have to carry it anymore. But you can
Okay,
manually put the numbers in as well.
thank you.
Anyone else have a question? Okay. And then another reason why people use digital wallets, right? It's a safer option in case risk of losing physical or debit cards. And we're also going to talk about, I think, more security stuff and watch a short video. I will explain it first, but if you still don't understand, right, I have a video for you in the next slide. But essentially, right, a lot of people do not use digital wallets probably because of the security like method. Like they don't really understand the technology behind it, so they're a bit hesitant to actually use it. So with a digital wallet, and when you are using your phone to make payments through this digital wallet, right? The transaction is using a unique code instead of your card number. So what this means is that instead of storing your actual credit card number in the digital wallet, the digital wallet generates a unique token, which is a random string of characters and numbers to represent your payment information. And this random types of characters and numbers is what's used to complete the transaction. So what this means is that every time you use your phone digital wallet to pay, the merchant is not seeing your actual credit card number. Instead, it's using this token that randomly changes every time you pay. The token is matched back to your actual payment information by the bank to complete the transaction securely. So the bank is the only person that is able to actually see your actual credit card number. And when every time, let's say you pay on the bus, you pay on the train, or you go to the mall and use your phone to tap and pay, every single store that you go to, the person on their end, they're not seeing your actual card information. Instead, they're just seeing this random token number. So I would say in cases like, for example, maybe you have seen this before in the news or not, but sometimes if you go to like a gas station or a store that you haven't been to in a while, there's been times or thieves that are like changing the machines of where you pay and putting like a fake thing on top where the keypad is when you pay. And people are starting to use their phone to do digital wallets instead of sliding their credit cards, because if the machine is fake and someone has changed it, right, their side of the store that's doing tricky or fishy things are not going to be able to hack you or hack your information, because what they got on their end is a random string of numbers. It can lead back to your card information. So in cases like that, for example, if you were going to like a gas station and the people at the gas station were doing fishy things with their card machine, right? They wouldn't be able to get your information. But we're gonna watch a video. They'll explain it as well about the whole security of a digital wallet. But does anybody have questions on that?
Tabitha, if
Yes.
you lose your phone or your phone is stolen, um, will the person or persons who have your phone be able to use your digital wallet?
So we're gonna talk about that in the next a few slides from now.
Okay,
Like security measures that you should take in place before you even put your turn on digital wallet. So that's a good question.
okay.
I also have a question.
Yes.
You keep it in your photos, or you make a new. Where do you store these numbers?
So a digital wallet is an app on your
Oh,
phone.
okay.
And we'll show you the app too in a few more slides, but it's called Wallet on both an Android phone and a iPhone. For
Okay.
iPhones, it's automatically downloaded. For Android phones, you would have to go to the Google Play Store to download the Google Wallet. Or if you have a Samsung Galaxy, the Samsung Wallet is most likely already pre-downloaded on your phone as well.
Good. Thank you.
Okay, so just give me a second. We're gonna watch this video from Good Morning America to explain a little bit about the safety of digital wallets.
Cover story now, finding safer ways to pay this holiday shopping season. Tap to pay transactions are estimated to grow by more than 150% over the next few years. As this method becomes more popular, Becky Worley joins us to break down how safe they are to use. Good morning to you, Becky.
Good morning, Robin. Yeah, if you've ever seen people use their phone or their watch to pay for a purchase and wondered, how do they do that? And is it safe? Well, we're going to answer those questions, but spoiler alert, once you set this up, it's easier, it's faster, and it may even be safer than using plastic.
Tap to pay. First, the tech. Two devices, your phone and the payment reader, communicate wirelessly. That transmission is encrypted, meaning it can't be intercepted by a hacker.
It's a really great technology that helps reduce a lot of the friction of purchasing.
Android, Apple, and Samsung phones all have digital wallets built in. You set them up by adding a credit card or a debit card. You can even use a prepaid card. I have an iPhone, so I just double-click on the side and up pops my wallet app. I select the credit card I want to use. I just tap, and the purchase is charged just like I used a regular credit card, except it's faster and easier than using plastic. But for a lot of people, the reason they aren't doing this is they worry about safety.
Some people are still hesitant on using digital wallets because it's weird to not have that card information directly in front of you.
Your plastic credit card, though, has a vulnerability. If someone gets the number and the date and code on the back, they can make charges. But when your phone communicates with an e-reader, it doesn't share that credit card number. It creates a one-time use number that is useless to a thief. It's called tokenization.
The reason tokenization is really helpful is that it creates a level of encryption that we just can't get with physical cards.
Google says digital wallets provide added security, and Apple adds it's safer than using a physical credit, debit, or prepaid card. Okay, but what if your phone gets stolen? In order to use the digital wallets on watches or phones, your device must have a password. Now, Apple tells us that Apple Pay is available in more than 85% of retailers, but one downside is that that other 15% means you still have to carry a plastic credit card. And we should mention that it's not just the big three that we mentioned, Samsung, Google, and Apple. There are also new services like Zelle and PayPal and Venmo that you can use in some stores. It's a whole new world out there for paying for your purchases, Michael.
Yes, it is, Becky. When I tell my kids I give them cash, they look like, what is this? Put it on a card. Cash is, you know, they really do. But thank you so much for that, Becky. As always, we appreciate you.
Okay. Anyone have questions on what we just saw? Okay, so yeah, as I was saying previously, right, about the whole tokenization, when you do use your phone to pay, the merchant is just receiving like a one-time code of different types of numbers, not your actual credit card. However, when you are using your debit or credit card to pay in the store and you're swiping it, the merchant is having access to your credit card number, the date, and the security code on the back. So there's a question in the chat. They said, is there a charge to use this? And no, digital wallets, there are no charges. There's no like transaction fee. When you use your phone to pay, it's just like using your credit or debit card. It's the same amount. Nothing changes. But before we actually look at how to add the stuff, I just want to talk about like how to use digital wallets safely for a bit. So as in the video, right, the only way to use a digital wallet is you must have a password on your phone, right? So if you're someone here today that you don't like to use a password on your phone, you just like to open your phone, and you don't have to put your Face ID, you don't have to put a fingerprint, you don't have to put a code. It's just not going to work, right? Because you're making your phone vulnerable in case it gets hacked or so on, right? Someone can easily just take your phone and open up your cards and so on. So that's one thing, right? So every time we pay or use our digital wallets to pay, it is going to ask us to either put our Face ID, if we use our face to open our phone, put our fingerprint, or to put in that code. So if you are already, within the phone, it probably will ask you again for that code as an extra safety measure. And then for the one person that asks a question, like, what if your phone is stolen, right? So in cases like where your phone is it gets stolen, and you do have your credit cards or debit cards within your phone, right? I have discussed briefly on the 2 ways to lock down your phone, which is Find My iPhone and find my Android. And both of those two ways, you can lock down your phone and erase the cards from your phone. So if you don't know what Find My iPhone is or Find My Android, there I have done videos on it where I could put in the link to the video so you could watch that presentation. But essentially what Find My iPhone and Find My Android is basically a website that you can go on anyone's phone, computer, and you would put in your email address for your Apple phone and the password to your Apple, and you can easily track where your phone is. All your phones have GPS systems in it. You could track your phone and you can lock it down. And I have used that for my phone when it got lost, so I can back it up and say that it works. And I've also used the Google one for my mother's phone that was recently got lost as well in Queens, in the Mets Stadium. And that was like a few months back. And she also had credit cards in her phone as well. And all we needed was her email address and that password that she remembered. And we were able to easily lock down her phone and take out the credit cards that were in her phone from these two websites, which is why I always say it's very, very important to know your passwords for those email addresses. So in cases where you want to do things like this, you can lock it down. Let me just answer these questions in the chat. More vendors are passing along fees from charge companies. I don't know what you mean by that, but I do know for if you are using like Apple Wallet or Google Wallet, there aren't any fees for essentially paying to pay in the stores with that. And then someone says, what is our liability on the credit card purchases if the phone is stolen? Not too sure about the liability on that. I mean, it depends on the different policies for both Apple or your bank itself, right? So like it could be, what does Chase provide or American Express provide in cases where if your phone is stolen and someone decides to start using your credit card. But let's say, for example, you do use digital wallets, you put your credit card in and your phone gets stolen. There's a highly unlikely that someone can just start using your cards like that. For one, they do need your Face ID, your code, or your fingerprint. So right away, it has to be a very skilled hacker that knows how to at least break into the phone. And by the time they do try to break into the phone, right, what you should do is, if you don't know how to use Find My iPhone or Find My Android, immediately just call your bank to turn off your cards, and it will turn them off as well in your phone. But I will link in the chat the video of Find My iPhone and Find My Android, where you could understand how to lock your phone in cases that it does get stolen. If you have lost your phone, what do you use to track it down? Someone said in the chat, yeah. If you lose your iPhone or you lose your Android, right? Android phone, what you could do to track it down, right? You could use your friend's neighbor's phone, family's phone, and you could just go to google.com and search, if it's an iPhone, Find My iPhone. If it's an Android, Find My Android. And Samsung as well has one to find my Samsung phone. And once you get into that website, you have to know your Apple email address that you use for your phone and your password for your iCloud account. If you don't know that information, you would have to either sign out of your Apple account. You could call Apple and ask them that way. But in your settings, all the way at the top where your name is, you could see what your email address is for your iPhone, but you need to know what that password is. Same thing with those that have Androids, right? You go into the Find My Android website, it's gonna ask you what your email address is and the password for that email address.
And you can do this on your computer?
You can do this on a computer, a laptop, a phone. I will link it in the chat before we end today. Oh, so yeah, the person says they charge more if you do not use cash. That's true. There are some stores that they will charge more if you do not use cash, but that's the same for, it'll be the same price though for both using Apple wallets and using your regular credit card. Okay. So okay, I think I answered all those in the chat. So how to use digital wallet safety, right? Always be on secured Wi-Fi if you are going to access your bank, but this is true for anything, not even just using a digital wallet, right? So what this means is like, for example, if you're at a regular cafe or a Starbucks and you're using the Starbucks Wi-Fi, I wouldn't say to log into your bank, right? Using that, because there's other people in that store that's also using the same Wi-Fi as you. So if you are gonna decide for any reason to make a transaction on your phone, I would say to just get off the public Wi-Fi and just use the regular 5G or 4G. If someone asks you, if you're having trouble using a digital wallet and someone comes next to you and says, don't worry, I can do it for you, right? Just tell them, oh, that's okay. Never mind, I'll just try next time. Don't let other people try to use your phone. Always access these apps and digital wallets over a secure network. So just as I was saying, don't try to access your digital wallet or your Chase Bank or any type of bank company that you use. Don't try to use the cafe's internet, Wi-Fi, Starbucks Wi-Fi, the library's Wi-Fi. Wait until you get home to use that. And take advantage of your phone security features, which is, I'm gonna put in the link after
What's 5G and 4G? What is that?
5G and 4G are the cellular towers. So if you have Verizon or AT&T or Consumer Cellular, if you're not using Wi-Fi, you're using the cellular tower. So usually on your phone, on the right-hand side, it has like those 4 or 5 bars, right? Those are either 4G or 5G, depending on how updated your phone is. So there's 2 forms of internet connection, either Wi-Fi that you can purchase separately in your home, or if when you go outside, it's cellular towers, which is why we pay Verizon or AT&T or Consumer Cellular or whoever else you have, Optimum. And those are the bars, those 4 or 5 bars that you always see on your phone to make phone calls and such. Any questions on this slide? Oops. Okay, so let's just talk about debit card adding stuff. And I know I just said adding credit card or debit cards, but you don't have to add a debit or credit card. You could add other things like movie passes, boarding passes, concert tickets, library card, key food card. There's so many things that you can add. So here on this presentation, I didn't mention that, but it's not just adding credit cards or debit cards. But for those that have iPhones, right, lucky for us, we have the app already pre-installed on our phone. Unless you have an iPhone 6 you cannot have this on your phone. But if you have an iPhone 7 and above or an iPhone SE second generation, you can use this feature on your phone to pay. So if you look here on the corner, this is the app that is on our phone, and it's called Wallet. And if you don't find it, it could mean that you probably accidentally deleted it because you didn't know what it was. But you could always get it back in the App Store. But it's called Wallet. And if you never used it before, it's probably going to ask you to agree to the terms and conditions and things like that. But once you do open it, all the way in the top right-hand corner is a plus sign where you can essentially, add things to your wallet, right? So you can add either a debit or credit card. You could add a transit card, but that's not for New York. It's for only San Francisco, Washington, and Los Angeles. Or if you decide to travel to another country, there might be transit cards that you can add as well on there. And eventually, hopefully, we could add our driver's license to our digital wallet, but New York hasn't approved of it yet. But the next state on the list is New Jersey. So if anyone here is in New Jersey, that might be next to add your digital wallet, driver's license to your digital wallet. But if you are on this app and you're looking and you're seeing the different options, right? You don't see options for membership card, loyalty cards, gym memberships, or so on, or adding boarding passes or your tickets to a show or so on. And is by locating these type of buttons in an email.
Open settings.
So I just circled it on the presentation, or add to Samsung Wallet. So I'll give you an example, right? If any of you are going to like a concert or something in the near future, just as an example, right? We pay for the concert tickets online and we get an email confirmation sent to our email. In that email, you will have all the way at the bottom of the email, add to Apple Wallet, add to Google Wallet, add to Samsung Wallet. If you're planning a trip and you're going somewhere, when you purchase the plane tickets and you check in that check-in confirmation email, you will get a add to Apple Wallet. So you can add your boarding pass to your digital wallet. And just by pressing on that button in the email, it will automatically add your ticket to that wallet. So once you open your wallet, the boarding pass will be there that you can use to scan in the airport. I use it all the time for movie tickets. So I purchase my movie tickets online, and once I pay for the ticket, right, I get an email confirmation, and in the email under it, it says add to Apple Wallet. And every time I look at my wallet, I can see the different cards that I have in there, and I can pick and choose which one I want to scan or use. And eventually, like with tickets or boarding passes, they expire and then they leave your wallet. But you can always see them in a section called expired passes. Does anybody have questions on that?
I do.
Yes, go ahead.
I have Wallet and Apple Pay under settings, but it's not showing on my in the apps in the front. It's not on the, when I open.
Alicia, if you look at the apps on your phone, right?
Yeah, yeah.
All the way at the bottom, do you have like a little search bar? You could search for wallet to see if you have the app.
I have the app in the settings. I do have the app and I have 2 cards.
But you can't find the app?
Right. Not when I open.
Okay, so on your phone, just swipe left all the way to the last page where you
Okay.
see app library, and at the
Yeah.
top, search for wallet and see if it's
Okay, great.
there.
Okay, wallet. Yes. There it is. It's there. So I just put a plus.
Yeah, if
Right?
you push the plus sign, you can see you can add more cards. But like I said, if you want to add loyalty cards, movie tickets, boarding passes, you have to find add to Apple Wallet button in an email that they sent you.
Okay. Thank you.
So Tabitha, I have a question.
Yes, go ahead.
I have airline tickets for a trip that's not going to happen till the end of the year.
Mm-hmm.
So if I add that to my wallet and
Yes.
airlines make a change, will that automatically update? Or should I
So,
wait till I get closer to the date to travel?
so in my experience, when it's a American flight, the boarding pass updates, but internationally, I've noticed that it doesn't for me. Because I've used it quite a number of times. But once you finally check in with that flight, you'll be able to add your boarding pass to the phone. And then every time you open your phone and you look at the lock screen, you'll see your boarding pass right at the bottom and the time. And
Okay.
it should update with, like, let's say there's a cancellation or they delayed it or so on, the time will change. But I've noticed, like, for example, I went to Portugal this year and it didn't update. So I don't know if it's an international thing, but I've used it in the past for like North Carolina and things like that, and it updated for me.
Okay, thanks.
So you have to wait until you get the email from confirmation email from the airline. And then you
That
look
is
on the email.
that is correct. So well, I would say wait until it's ready for check-in. So essentially you can't do it until 24 hours before your flight. That is when you're going to get the add to Apple Wallet button or the Google Wallet or so on.
Thanks. And then you'll go on to tell us later how you would do like Wave Hill membership card or museum membership card.
Yeah, so hold on, let me just see. Let me go back to, so with Apple Wallet, do you have an Apple Wallet or I mean, sorry, do you have an Apple phone or Google?
Apple.
Okay. Let me see.
Oh, she's looking.
The thing is, so I know with Google and Samsung, it allows you to kind of almost take a picture of the barcodes that are on either like your physical cards that you have, but the Apple Wallet doesn't give you that option. It's more so like as soon as you get that membership or your card, you have to add it that way. You know, I have to get back on you on that because like for like let's say if I had that too, like let's say I wanted to add a Stop and Shop because I my card in there, I have to see how I would add it if I don't have that original email anymore, right? Because then you would have to go all the back to when you first became a Wave Hill member. And that would be probably too complicated. So let me get back to you on that. If you write your email down, I could search for it for you after this presentation to see what I find.
Thank you.
Okay, someone said in the chat, I am unclear which password must be remembered. Okay, that's a good question. So Karen asked that she needs to know which password should she use in order to find her lost phone. Is it the Apple ID password or the password for my email? Okay, that's a good question. So if you do lose your Apple phone, the password that you have to remember is the password to your Apple ID. And that's the same password you use every time you download apps on your phone or make a purchase on your phone, right? That's the password that we're looking for. However, if you have a Google Android phone, your password that you must remember is the password to your Gmail address. So for example, if I had an email, tabitharose@gmail.com, I would need to remember the password for that. For iPhones, it's the password to our Apple ID account. So if you have an Android phone, right, what you can do is two things. If you just have a regular Google Android phone that's not a Samsung Galaxy, you can download the app called Google Wallet. I'm pretty sure it's not automatically downloaded to certain phones, so you do have to go to the Play Store and download it for free, and it will connect your Google account to the wallet where you can add payment methods, payment cards, as well as membership cards and so on. The good thing about Google Wallet is you can essentially click through different options. So it will say, if do you want to add a loyalty card, and you tap loyalty and it will open up your camera to either take a picture of the card or you can manually put the card's numbers. Apple doesn't seem to have that feature, which is why I'm going to get back to everyone here today to try to figure out how can we add certain different other cards when we don't have that email where we can add it to our Apple Wallet. So I'm going to try to figure that out for the rest of the people here today. And if you're someone here today that does have a Samsung Galaxy phone, usually that's like the newer Google Android phones, you can, this one's already automatically downloaded to the devices. Same thing, you can add payment cards, membership cards, gift cards, boarding passes, and even like digital keys if you're someone here today that opens their apartment with their phone. And once you open it up, all the way at the bottom, there's a section called menu. And in the top right-hand corner, you can begin to add the various type of cards in your wallet. Okay, thank you for sending me that. Anyone have questions on these three things?
I have a question, but it's because by mistake I put something in archive. How do I get it out of archive?
Archive where, Alicia?
In the Apple iPhone, they give you a choice to archive an email. And I don't know how to get it out of the archive, but you'll let me know.
I have to show you in person.
Okay.
Because I have to see what you're talking about.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, let me just show you guys quickly what I'm talking about, like in case you use your phone. So Find My iPhone, right? We have an app for it on our phones. However, that's useless if our phone gets lost. So there's a website that you can go to by essentially just typing Find My iPhone. And this is the website. This is for iPhones. I'm also gonna provide a video, but hold on. So for iPhones, you go to this website, iCloud.com/find. and it says find devices. So it's not just your phone. You can find your iPad, your MacBook, your watch, even your headphones. And you could use this feature to even track your family members if they give you that permission. So all you have to do is sign in with this black button, sign in, and you type in your email address for your Apple account and the password for that Apple ID password. And once you log in, it will use the GPS that is within your device to track it down on a map. I have used it before to track down my phone. I've said the story before. My phone got lost on a bus, and this website saved me. And I'm using my laptop right now. So you could use it on a laptop, a desktop, or even your family member, neighbor's phone, or so on. This is for iPhones. For Android, right? You could go to, hold on. I don't have a Android device. That's why I'm saying no device is found. But for Androids, it's called, hold on, let me just type it in the chat for everybody. Google.com/Android/find. I'm currently signed into my Google account, so you didn't see the sign in button. And that's why it's not finding anything, because I don't have an Android phone. And then there's also a Samsung one that I'm also going to provide as well. So essentially they all do the same thing. Searching your phone. I have personally used Find My iPhone to track down my phone before, lock down cards. And I've also personally used Samsung, this one right here, for my mother's phone, where we also used it to lock down her credit cards, debit cards, and so on. So that's why it's very important, once again, to remember those passwords. And I provided the links for that. And Alicia, she said, how do you delete the cards? Do you mean like when it gets lost, or just in general? Like when it gets lost, Alicia? Yes, okay.
And also in general, because since I was scammed, I try and take my credit card off. Like I want to use it and then I want to delete it.
Okay. Yeah, so in order to delete a card off of the Apple Wallet, because I know you have an iPhone, you have to go to your wallet and tap on the card you want to delete.
Okay.
And then in the top upper right hand corner, there's these 3 little dots.
Mm-hmm.
And when you tap the 3 little dots, it's going to say card number, card details, notifications.
Mm-hmm.
You tap card details, and all the way at the bottom, it says remove card.
Okay.
If you scroll all the way down.
3 dots, card details, tap to remove.
Yes.
All right, thank you. I hope that's good for everybody.
I have another question.
Yes, go ahead.
I frequently buy stuff online and frequently have to return it. And I go to Staples or like that to return it. And I have to, is there any way to put whatever information they're asking in that wallet? I usually have to find my email that I got from the store saying, you know, it has those QR codes on it. The letter has the QR code. You go to Staples and you show them, at least I show them my note from the company approving this for a return. But is that something you could put on your wallet?
So like the return receipts, no, you can't put that in a digital wallet. Instead, like those, you would have to just show your email to the person that
So the only way to do that is to sort of mark your email as important or whatever, however you mark
Yeah,
it.
correct.
To find it.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's not really considered like a type of thing you could put into a digital wallet, but I mean, maybe in the future.
Uh-huh.